What it do, y'all, man? I'm back for another video. Definitely been a busy few last weeks for me, and honestly, it's still a busy time for me right now. But I wanted to make sure I maintain some level of consistency just for the channel, man, and keep dropping video after video for y'all. I also want to take this time out to just say thank y'all to everyone who's been being consistent with me, watching all of my videos and liking, subscribing, all of those things. If you haven't checked out all of them yet, man, definitely go check all of them out. Regardless of what you do in life, whether you're an engineer or not, whether you work out consistently or not, or whether you're an entrepreneur or not, there's some gem in each video that you can pick up out of it and use in your life. So, like I said, if you haven't checked those out, definitely go back and watch those. One thing I've been mentioning in a lot of my previous videos has been some of the things I have going on in life and some of the things I've been having in motion for this year in general. And this video is going to be talking about one of those things. As you can see from the title, man, your boy going to college. I'm going to get my master's degree. Something I've been thinking about for a while now. It's not necessary right now in my career, but I know down the line it will be necessary, and it'll just make advancing in my career a little bit easier, especially if I could go ahead and get it early. So I really just want to talk through that whole process and how long I've been really putting this in motion, because I mean, it's something that's been going on for over 6 months at this point. I've been consistently doing my own research on different things and really just staying prayed up and doing my due diligence to make sure things happen how they should happen. And as of now, man, it seems like everything's a go. So my first step for this whole process was deciding what I wanted to major in for my master's degree. Now, most people just continue on where they started at their bachelor's degree and then get a master's in that same degree. Me personally, I didn't want to do that specifically. If you've seen one of my earlier videos, you'll know that I majored in mechanical engineering for my bachelor's degree. So for my master's, I kind of wanted to take a different approach. Because of the work that I do now currently as an engineer, I did want to learn more about other things outside of just mechanical topics. And so that includes reliability engineering, manufacturing engineering, quality management, things of that nature. I also wanted to get a little bit more knowledge on just engineering management as a whole, because I do see myself being a leader now and one day even actually being the leader for a whole team or a whole program. So ultimately, man, I ended up deciding on majoring in industrial engineering, where I'll learn process improvement and also learn a few of those topics that I spoke on. But I did add a little spin to it. My plan is to also take some mechanical electives so that way I can further some of my mechanical knowledge and continue to develop my technical knowledge so that way I can add value to myself as an engineer, then continue to thrive at work when I'm done with my degree. Now, this was something that required a lot of research out of me. I did a lot of research on different engineering degrees. I asked a lot of people around the job and the workplace what they majored in. Like I said, many people, they just kind of continue on from where they started on their bachelor's degree. And then there were also people who did like systems or maybe even industrial like I'm doing. My biggest takeaway from all of the conversations that I had was that some people regretted closing certain doors and some people felt like they were a little bit too broad. So I kind of want to find that middle ground where I was able to learn a lot and expand my knowledge to be a better engineer, especially in the type of engineering work that I'm doing, but at the same time, not closing the doors for the future. Because honestly, I mean, I've been working for 2 years now. I'm still early in my career, so I couldn't tell you where I'll be at in 10 years. So yeah, ultimately, like I said, I decided on industrial engineering, and from there it was deciding what schools to apply to. I ended up applying to 3 schools. They all are in Florida since I live here. I really just wanted to avoid having to deal with out-of-state tuition. You know they buzz heads when you live away from the state of the college, so I decided to apply at the University of Florida, Florida State University, and the University of Central Florida. Now, each of these schools had their own reason of why they were on my list of applying, and it's crazy how my initial ranking of each of these schools changed completely by the time I decided on what school I wanted to go to. So I'm gonna start from the top. The University of Florida, it's pretty much like the #1 engineering school in the state, I believe. The biggest thing for me was, for one, they had an industrial and systems engineering program, but for two, they have a satellite campus near where I stay, and it just made sense for me to go ahead and apply for them and take advantage of having that campus so close by. My plan was to take advantage of the campus by creating a routine of using it as my place of doing my work, studying, if I have office hours I need to do with professors and call-ins, like just making sure I get myself out of the house, because I'm going to take an all online program. So I would have been doing majority of my work from home. I didn't want to have that as my only option, so that's why that just made sense. It was high on my list, actually number one on my list because of the satellite campus. And I was kind of looking forward to taking advantage of that. Another positive of the University of Florida's Industrial and Systems Engineering program was, I know a lot of people who got their masters through that program. They all said it was pretty good and it really helped grow them, especially in the engineering that we're doing. I was excited about that, and that's the main reason why I applied. My second school I applied to was Florida State University. It's kind of similar situations where it just made sense, but for a different reason. So for Florida State, their program was literally created by people who work in the same field as me. And I believe some of them even work where I work at now. And so with that being said, it kind of was a no-brainer to apply for it. It would have been something that would have grown my knowledge on how to be an engineer in the field that I work in. That program was systems engineering, which is pretty similar to industrial engineering. A lot of people I work with also took that program and got their masters. So I had a lot of good reviews. Majority of the professors were pretty good. I even knew a few of the student teachers, which was another reason why I was like, okay, I knew a lot about the program pretty much. So that was another one that I was excited about. I really do think that was a good option to have on this list as well. And then for my final option, University of Central Florida, it was definitely like my last option as far as choosing a third school to apply to. The biggest thing that stood out to me was the fact that their degree had a lot more flexibility as far as what courses you could take. And that really stood out to me just because at the back of my mind, I didn't want to close any future doors that I could possibly have in my career. The other two programs, they had a lot of required courses that only left me room for like 2 or 3, I think, electives. On the other hand, half of my courses at UCF would be electives and the other half would be required courses. So it just gave me a little flexibility on what I wanted to learn, where I wanted to grow my knowledge at, and what I wanted to take back with me into my career. It was really hard to make my decision. The first thing that helped me make my decision was getting accepted in the first place. So my first acceptance letter came from UCF, which, like I said, that was my last option of where I wanted to go initially, but that ended up being my first letter of acceptance. But then my second letter of acceptance came from Florida State. And so I was excited about that. I had a little momentum going, and I was just waiting on the University of Florida, honestly. I think them having the satellite campus really made them the school I wanted to go to. Ultimately, I never got an acceptance letter from them. Not sure why I didn't, but I did hear it's kind of hard to get into that engineering college. But in the end, it really didn't play any effect on what school I decided to go to. I talked to a lot of my coworkers again about what school I wanted to go to, and they all had their own insight. And like I said, a lot of people went to the University of Florida, and a lot of people also went to Florida State University. And everyone had good things to say. Like, I didn't get any bad reviews, honestly, on any school I asked about. But I talked to one of my coworkers, and he's someone that I've talked to about a lot of different things at work, and he's given me some good advice before. So I asked him, man, one of the things he talked to me about was just how tailored the University of Florida and Florida State's curriculum was to the work we do. And like I said, one of my biggest fears was closing future doors for my career. I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you where I'll be in the next 5 to 10 years. So I just wanted to make sure that I still improved myself and added value to myself, but I didn't close any doors. And ultimately, once I got a deeper look at the courses each school offered, and I got a chance to see just how flexible UCF's curriculum was, it was a no-brainer for me that UCF was the school for me. So I am deciding to go to the University of Central Florida. I'll start this fall, and I can't lie, I'm excited, man. I've already pretty much planned out what courses I want to take. I've started that process of talking to different advisors and just getting advice on how I should go about things, and I'm looking forward to learning and coming back with that knowledge and keeping the momentum that I've had in my career thus far. Now comes the next big thing, which everyone has to be wondering, how are you gonna pay for school? And you know, college is expensive. But luckily for my job, there were a few options that I could use. The first one being tuition assistance, which would have paid 75% of my tuition for me. That's a lot of money getting paid off, and it actually used to be 100%, but it's cool. 75 was enough, and I was willing to do that. I was willing to take that chance. That'll make a class be like $200 a class, maybe a little bit more, maybe, but that's not bad at all. So my plan was to look more into that and figure that out, and that could have definitely been something I would have done. The second option for helping with school payments was a school that was actually connected to my job, where as long as they have open seats, you can go to school for free. That was definitely higher than the tuition reimbursement. The only hard problem is you don't get to choose what school you go to, and there has to be open seats for you to actually go to school. So obviously, if it's free school, everyone's trying to get into that spot. It's gonna really be about who you know and stuff. So, but ultimately, I feel like I could have probably taken that route, and that was gonna be my main way of trying to get school paid for. And so my last option, the third option, the best option, and the option I ultimately end up taking is a scholarship that was offered by my company. Basically, with this scholarship, they'll pay for me to get my master's degree. They'll continue to pay me my salary, but I'll be in school full time and won't have to work. Now, I know that sounds crazy because it is. And as you can imagine, it's very competitive. So I've been working on this application since about August. That's why I kept mentioning I got things in motion, I got things going through. Like, that was what I was talking about, this scholarship. And I was blessed enough to get it. I prayed about it over and over and over and over again, to the point where I even prayed to God, like, God, listen, if this opportunity isn't what I'm supposed to do right now, ultimately, I'm fine with that. I just want you to have control over my life, and I want your guidance. And I even prayed that at times where it was like just me overthinking on what the outcome was going to be from my application of applying to this scholarship. And in the end, like I said, I ended up getting it. I was awarded it, I think earlier this month or last month. Getting this scholarship definitely helped me see that I'm on the right track as far as my networking at my job, the learning I'm already doing, the things I do outside of work, like community service and volunteering, and also just leaving a great impression on the people that I work with. So there you have it, man. Like I said, your boy finna go to college. I'm finna get my master's degree in industrial engineering, going to University of Central Florida, and I'll be doing school full time. So the biggest thing that I've been thinking about since I've learned about this has been, how am I gonna take advantage of this time? So again, if you've been watching my previous videos, you'll know that I do have different side hustles that I partake in to make a little extra money from time to time. And I feel like with that extra time, I definitely need to either grow one of those or add on another side hustle where I can make some extra money and have it consistently coming in by the time I start back working in a year and a half. Now, I've been doing a whole bunch of research trying to figure that out. I'm not sure what exactly is gonna be yet and what route I'm gonna take, but I do want to be prepared for that. And that's another thing that I'm excited for. I've already started going through the process of kind of creating a routine for myself, or at least having it in the back of my mind, like how I need to go about things. And right now it seems like it's gonna be wake up early, knock out schoolwork as much as I can each day before 12, and then still get my workouts in and put some time into side hustles in the evening. I know it's probably not gonna go as planned initially or even the whole time just because life happens, but as long as I can create a base routine, I think everything will go fine, man. And I look forward to going through that journey and showing that to y'all and just sharing what I end up deciding to do, how the classes go, and how I take advantage of the time that I get from only being in school. I told y'all there was a lot of big things coming for this year, and this was just one of them, so definitely keep up with me, man. This won't be the only big thing that happens this year. I just feel like it's more to come, and I just know it in my heart that things are going up from here. Definitely keep checking my videos out, man. If you haven't already, check out my last video. And if you check that one out, look at my last video. Watch all the videos, man. They all entertaining in their own way. They all have different things going on, but they cool to check out. Also, man, if you haven't already, like all the videos and also subscribe. I appreciate y'all that's still watching at this point in the video. If y'all got any questions on deciding what school you want to go to, deciding what degree you want, or even just how it is working as an engineer right now, definitely reach out to me, man. My Instagram is in the description. Check that out. And hey, man, I'll see y'all next video. Peace.